Olympic wrestler and legendary coach Dan Gable once said, "The first period is won by the best technician. The second period is won by the kid in the best shape. The third period is won by the kid with the biggest heart." Over the course of Coach Jason Shaughnessy's 22-year coaching career, he's worked hard to develop all three of these areas in his wrestlers. Jason attended Lakeland Regional High School in Wanacue, New Jersey. In the off-season, Jason was determined to improve his skills, wrestling at Wayne's Boys Club and competing in summer tournaments. By his side were his parents Debbie and Tom Shaughnessy and his younger brother Justin, who picked up the sport as well. Jason was senior captain, finishing his high school career as a 3-time district champ, 2-time Passaic County champ, and 2-time Region 4 place winner. Jason continued his wrestling career at Springfield College under the direction of Hall of Fame coach Darryl Arroyo. At Springfield College, he was a 4-year varsity wrestler and senior captain before becoming an assistant coach.
Jason was an intense guy when I first met him. At the same time, he was real fun to be around. He was very passionate about the sport of wrestling. Jason was able to hit a lot of high-level technique in college, and he was on a good team. We were pretty good, and we got better every year after that. I think Jason translated over because he's really good at teaching kids basic technique, getting them to work hard, have a good time, and at the same time, teaching high-level technique. So he's a very well-rounded coach.
In the fall of 1997, Shaughnessy began working in the Fairfield Public School system as a physical education teacher. After almost accepting a position coaching at Fairfield Prep, Fairfield High School had a last-minute opening. Shaughnessy's first team only had 13 members in 10 weight classes, and he ended his first season with 2 wins and 20 losses. It was clear that a culture of wrestling was non-existent in Fairfield and needed to be developed. Building a tradition soon became Jason's mission. That spring, Coach Shaughnessy held a youth clinic, the first step in creating Fairfield Pals youth wrestling program.
He was a go-getter. I mean, he wanted it. He was willing to do anything to accomplish what he had to build a tradition that we ended up with, and we started out with nothing.
Coach Shaughnessy showed up to Fairfield, starting a new job as a teacher, and wanted to be the head wrestling coach, and that was his goal. And he wasn't going to let anything stop him. And 22 years later, he hasn't let anything stop him, and I don't think there's much that's going to stop him in the future.
In his second year of coaching, Coach Shaughnessy increased the roster from 13 to 28 and ended the season above 500 with a 12-10 record. His third season, Fairfield High School ended 18-5, and by year 4, they were 22-1 and ranked 8th in the state, the first time Fairfield was ever ranked in the state's top 10.
My freshman year, I won 5 matches and lost, 40 matches or something like that. But by my senior year, I was undefeated and took 3rd in New England. If it wasn't for Coach Shaughnessy having his goals in front of him and then, achieving them, I don't think I would have had much to emulate.
From the beginning, we were very, very poor. And by the time my second son went through, we were state champions. So that's kind of good.
When I joined the wrestling team as a freshman in high school, you kind of knew something was going on with Jason Shaughnessy. He was taking over the program. You knew right away you were dealing with someone that wasn't going to accept defeat, any kind of obstacles in his way. He was going to persevere and get through it with the diligence that he showed us every day, which he instilled in all the wrestlers as well.
Over the next 18 years, Coach Shaughnessy continued to develop a quality program. His teams have been ranked top 10 in the state 17 times, with 3 state championship teams and state runner-up 7 times. Coach Shaughnessy has coached 46 FCAC champions, 26 state champions, and 13 state open champions.
Coach Shaughnessy is Fairfield Wrestling. He built this program up from nothing, really, and he did it with hard work and dedication, to the youth program and to the students here, and a year-round approach to an investment in them and making sure that they want to be successful. His record speaks for itself. It's just phenomenal from where he started with very few wins those first 2 or 3 years to the last 2 years. I think we're 37-2, and nobody even notices or makes a big deal about it. It's almost expected.
Coach Shaughnessy's come in and really built this program from the ground up. From the wrestling room that we're standing in, we used to be out there rolling up mats every day, to the program and all the state championships and state place winners and everything that he's been able to accomplish here has really been through his hard work and really grassroots involvement of the community in wrestling.
Winning state championships, building a program that's consistently the top in the state, producing FCAC, state, and New England champs is a huge part of what he's done and a huge reason why he deserves this award. But it's really a small portion of what coaching is about, especially at the high school level. Coach has done is he's taken a ton of kids, molded them into a team every year, and then pushed them to achieve their best both on and off the wrestling mat, both in and out of the classroom.
He has a success-driven, success-proven atmosphere that just the kids come and they want to be a part of, and that's not just the starters. There's a million junior varsity kids, freshman kids that are going to plug in, and then some of those kids, they don't wrestle, they don't start till they're a senior, and they get in there and right away they step in and they kind of reload in the program, and that's a testament to Jason.
We've had kids here that were 4-year wrestlers that never got in our lineup, but yet could start for other schools. But they stay on the program because they want to be around Jason and the culture that we've created here, and the fact that they can walk around the halls with Ward wrestling gear on and people look at them like, wow, kid must be pretty tough. He's walking around, he's Ward wrestler.
One significant challenge was Fairfield's decision to open 2 high schools in 2005. Half the wrestlers in the youth program were going to the crosstown school in new rival Ludlow.
Certainly a lot of the teams felt the hit of losing half of their potential athletes. Coach Shaughnessy, his success has just been incredible. He almost got better after we split schools. His record against Ludlow speaks for itself. He won a state championship shortly after we split schools, just a few years later.
In 2009, Shaughnessy and assistant coach Craig DiStefano further enhanced the program with the first annual Ward Invitational. The Invitational is an opportunity for alumni and friends to showcase the Ward program.
One of the things that really helps keep the alumni and the parents tied in is the Ward Invitational. That was something that Jason started with the mind of making it one of the best tournaments in the state, during the season. And at that, you'll have alumni come back not only to visit, but they'll come back and work at the tournament. They'll actually work at the tables, run clocks, do all sorts of things. And they take it as a source of pride. The kids see the alumni doing that, so now they think it's kind of cool that now they get to come back as the alumni. And it gives them an opportunity to visit with us and visit with some of the guys that they wrestled with. It's that kind of an atmosphere, that you want to stay included in it. It's the Ward wrestling community.
In 2010, Ward earned the distinction of being the only team in Connecticut to break Danbury's streak of FCAC championships, and for the second year in a row, won the Class L state championship. In 2013, it became clear that Coach Shaughnessy's son would be a high school wrestler. Jason had to choose between watching his son wrestle for another school or move to Fairfield. Cole just finished his junior year at Ward. Having Cole be a part of a team is definitely a highlight of Coach's career. As much as he enjoys the trophies and accolades, Coach Shaughnessy has always known that the benefits of wrestling go beyond the mat. He truly believes that wrestling prepares you for life. It teaches you to stay focused, work hard, believe in yourself, stay calm under pressure, and never quit on yourself or your teammates.
He never quits on you, and I feel like that's one thing in a coach that you want, like one trait that you would love to have. You don't want to disappoint him because you don't want to disappoint someone that works so hard for you.
It directly affected my life, the way I deal with everyday problems. In fact, everything that I've achieved since high school, I would directly relate to my wrestling experience with Ward Wrestling.
I'd like Coach Shaughnessy to know that if just one thing I could tell him about his time around the mats and around me in Fairfield is that I'm just grateful. He's given me access to a community that I would have never had access to if it wasn't for him. It's a life-changing kind of mentality that I've carried with me and still do to this day.
I want him to know that he's impacted many lives. I'd say mostly mine. I think of even things in my personal life, my career, that I wouldn't have been able to achieve the goals I have without the values that he instilled in me, whether it be simple motivational things where I'd stop and think like, what would Coach Shaughnessy think? Or, wow, I really hope Coach Shaughnessy's proud of all I've achieved as being one of the wrestlers that he helped teach and mold as I grew up.
He's had a huge influence on my life and the way I view leadership, the way I view influencing and molding young men. I think about him often. I use the lessons that he taught me. I've had the privilege of meeting generals and Medal of Honor winners and outstanding Army officers throughout my career. And I can tell you that the greatest leadership lessons I had the privilege of learning from Jason Shaughnessy in this wrestling room, on the mat, and just in life.